social workers and organizations in the region becomes important to ensure the quality of life of people. Thailand Association of Social Workers feel confident that today's session would be productive and truly facilitate our professional development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, professors. So I'd like now to introduce our next session, Crisis in the Asia Pacific. I'd like to welcome our moderator, Professor Jaturong from the Faculty of Social Work and Social Welfare in UHU Chalampaki University to go on stage. And our three speakers, Professor Han from the Graduate School of Social Welfare in the Iwa Women University, Professor Baba from the School of Social Development University, Utara, Malaysia, and the Vice President of the Malaysian AIDS Council, and finally Professor Makoha Remahihi, President of the Aotearoa New Zealand Association of Social Workers. Do you come on stage?
Okay, good morning, all participants of RSV and IFSW. How was the cruise last night? Very good. Yeah. Did you enjoy? Very much. Thank you. I hope you like it. My name is Jaturong Bunjaratana Sultan, a lecturer of Virtual Telepathy at University, Thailand. I will be a moderator this morning's sessions. This morning, we have the kind of discussions on crisis in Asia Pacific regions. We have three speakers from South Korea, Malaysia, and New Zealand. Let me introduce in brief our speakers. We have only one lady on the stage, so Dr. In Young Han is the chairman of the board, Cell Welfare Foundations, Chair International Program Committees, Joint World Conference 2016, and she is a professor emeritus Iwa Women University, South Korea. Yes, please welcome In Young Han. Let me introduce the second speaker, Ismail Baba. Is a professor of School of Social Development, the University of Utara, Malaysia. He is also a vice president of the Malaysian AIDS Council. Please welcome Baba. The last one, the third speaker is Jane Makaurima Ihi. I'm not quite sure I pronounce his surname correctly. He is the president of Aotearoa New Zealand Association of Social Workers, practitioners, professionals, social workers, counselors, etc. So she has a lot of positions. Okay, when we talk about Asia Pacific regions, we have to understand that the regions varies in size depending on context, but it typically includes much of East Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. Asia Pacific always comprises all of Asia and Australia as well as New Zealand, including small, medium, large Pacific Island nations. Most individual nations within these zones are emerging markets experiencing rapid growth. But at the same time, in this region, in our region, we have also a crisis. Apart from the growth, economic growth, we have a crisis. So this session we are going to listen to our guest speakers. I would like to invite the lady, the only lady in the state, to speak for the first one. So you have 15 minutes for presentations, each one, and then we will have a pair sessions after our speaker. Please.
Thank you. Is this microphone working? Thank you. My topic this morning is social problems and social education, case of Korea. And Dr. Decha Sangwa-wan must believe that social work education in Korea must be Asia Pacific crisis. So it's under the jurisdiction of this topic. I don't really like to use the word crisis unless we try to talk on the topic of disaster or war or trauma. So I just want to say social work problems and social work education. Actually, do I just push the next one? Okay. I just want to see where we are and this in this region. Just want to see the Russia seems to be included in Europe, and so as far as land goes, China and Indonesia, Australia, and India has a big land, and you can see South Korea hanging in a small dot, and it's divided by north and south, and it's a tension for not only this region but also the world. And you can see this north-south Korea in the geography. So I just want to show you what the social problems that we have. I cannot cover all the problems, but here we have like economic inequality, poverty, aging, south-north conflicts, alcoholism, lots of suicide. So I just want to pinpoint some of these social problems. And among these social problems, I want to focus on the poverty of the senior, alcoholism, and suicide. Here, low birth rate, we are lowest fertility rates, and you can tell there's a 5 top of the list is in Asia region, Singapore, Macau, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and South Korea. We have such a lowest fertility rates. You can can see that we are 10% of 65 years of age or older, and 16%, we will have 16% of elderly by 2020, and almost 25% of senior citizens by 2030. So population issue is we have low birth rate and high elderly, and this makes the senior poverty rate. Currently, we are top of the list of senior poverty rates, and you see the Korea is especially high on senior poverty rate. And Gini coefficient, you can see OECD, among OECD members, it's also pretty high. And actually, Seoul Metropolitan Government tried to make the city as a elder-friendly city, and lots of programs for the elderly. Suicide rate is high, and you see the 29 person among 100,000 population commit suicide. Especially senior suicide rate, it is skyrocketing of 82 persons of 100,000 people. So this is another, not only they are poor, but also they have high rate of suicide. And I'm not to depress you, but we have a very high alcohol consuming in Korea. So like lots of alcohol is consumed, almost top of the list, and especially male has consumed alcohol, and the way that they manage stress is to drink alcohol. And so we have high fatalities in Korea linked to alcohol-related disease. And also you can see that there's a female also is increased, female alcohol drinking is increasing also. Another issue that we have is North Korean defectors. That yesterday Professor Engström mentions about migration of humankind. And in Korea, we have North Korean defectors has increased to South Korea. And when they arrive, they actually go through, risk their lives to set by the time that they settle in South Korea. And I did various research that they manifest mental health problem, and they have health problem, and these are another social work issues that we have to meet in continuously in the future. So for these social problems, we are going to show you briefly about social work services that we have. The residential facility, social service agency, senior long-term care facility, and specialized program. And the residential facility, we have people who stay in the facility and get the treatment. And community social service agency, we have each community has community welfare center, and Family Service Center, and Senior Service Center. It's in each geography that we provide services for. There's many other social work agencies. I'm just focusing for those problems that I mentioned earlier. For senior long-term care facility, we have senior long-term care, residential care, and home care. And inside home care, we have like home visit and various other problems. Specialized program, we have Mental Health Service Center and North Korean Defector Service Center. It is a relatively new program that we provide. And Alcohol Treatment Center provides lots of services to prevention, information, and also treatment services. And now I want to show you about social work licensing program. We have national exam, and to be able to take the national exam, we have mandatory courses that you have to take, which is the basic foundation courses for the social work education, and you have to have certain hours of field practicum. Level 1 is the highest ranking, which is you have to take level 2 and then take the national exam, which means you have to be graduate university or college or 2-year college. During the college, you have to take all these mandatory courses, and then you can take the national exam. And specialized licensure we have, which is psychiatric social work, medical social work, school social work, youth counseling. And these specialized licensure has a little more professional training. Level 1 social work license plus 3-year training, or level 2 social work plus 5-year training. Level 2 psychiatric social worker has a level of 1-year internship. So we have like level 1 and 2 for the psychiatric social work, which means a little bit more internship and field experience and everything else. Same with medical social work, with level 1 social work license plus 1 year of internship plus exam. And school social work also more training is needed. So I want to show you we have a tremendous number of social workers, which is level 1 licensed social worker is 110,000, which is high number compared to other population. In public sector social worker, we have like 15,000, and psychiatric social worker is 3,000. Among the psychiatric social work and public social work, they are probably included in the number is under the jurisdiction of level 1 licensed social work. We need a continuing education, 8 hours per year, and then the curriculum of the continuing education is mandatory courses that you have to take on social work ethics and values, social work practice, and these are the selected courses that you have to take to take the continuing education. We try to say that contemporary social problems such as low birth rate, aging, poverty of the seniors, suicide and alcoholism, as I mentioned earlier, and demands of the social service, we try to provide residential social services, the outpatient social service, senior long-term care, specialized program, and I want to sort of put you in spot to think about in the future and provide us some suggestions what we need to do for needs for professional social work. We think we need the licensing program for the level 1 social work licensing program is just a bachelor degree with the national exam with fieldwork practicum. And as psychiatric social work and medical social work, we need upgraded professional social worker at this point. So I'm just wanna leave you with some thoughts what we need to do in the future. So far, all the topics that we have taught for the last 70 years is the foundation courses, like I said, the 8 courses that the mandatory courses hasn't been changed for the last 70 years. And the community, the social problems has changed tremendously. And we don't meet the needs of societal needs at this point. So I'm suggesting like 3 different issues. For example, like upgrade the supervision system and the curriculum revision and all the supervision system has to be tremendously upgraded. And so I'd like to have all of the distinguished colleagues and practitioners in education in this room give us good suggestions, because we are in the process of trying to implement a professional licensure system in the future. And social work education has to really meet the needs of a societal problem. To tackle the social work problems of each society, curriculum has to be revised. So I leave the question to you all, because this is our crisis at this point for social work educators and practitioners. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Dr. In Young Hunt. She has already interesting presentations. She mentions about the problems in, I think, not only in South Korea, but also in our regions, the aging society. We would have a lot of aging people in 2020, almost 16%, yeah? And in 2030 would be almost 75%. So that's a lot of aging people. So what should we do for this aging society? I think this is one of the problems that we have to discuss. She also mentioned about the suicide rate. This is very, very interesting. The suicide rate is quite high. In, I think in our regions, Japan would be the highest suicide rate. And next to Japan would be South Korea, is it? Okay. But this is one of the problems, I think, because of the tent. And alcoholism, defectors has increased a lot in South Korea from North Korea. Yeah. Okay. If you have any question, could you please ask later after the presentation of three speakers. So the second speaker will be Dr. Baba, Dr. Baba, from Malaysia. Right now, I think you know the current, I would say the current crisis in our regions. One of the problems is that I'm sorry, I have to mention the problems, the Indonesian forest fire has cover Singapore, Malaysia, even in the south of Thailand. We have affected the ash from the forest fire. Is affecting public health and making navigation difficult. I'm not quite sure whether Professor Baba will mention about this for 15 minutes.
Very good morning to everybody and dear colleagues. And on behalf of all my colleagues from Malaysia, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, the organizing committee, for having us here, and thank you very, very much for your kind hospitality and generous food for the last 3 days. I'm going to be feeling very fat when I go home. And wonderful dinner last night. And I don't think we could repay or return the same favor if we were to ask to host a conference like this in Malaysia. And again, when I was asked to present a conceptual paper at this conference, I was a bit struggling in terms of what to write. Like yesterday's panelists, I think I sense that everybody had their own way of looking at crisis in the region as well as in the Asia-Pacific as well. So my topic is very much on, is poverty a crisis in the Asia-Pacific region? It's quite broad because, as you know, the Asia-Pacific region, as mentioned by our chairperson just now, divided between South Asia, Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, Central Asia, and the Pacific. So it's very broad, and previous speaker also have shown the map of the Asia-Pacific region as well. And I'm just gonna show you some of the countries listed under Southeast Asia, Southeast Asia, Northeast Asia, and Central Asia, and the Pacific. I think you can, it's kind of difficult to really focus what are the crises actually that we are all having. For that, I'm looking at poverty as a general topic to address the issue of crisis in the Asia-Pacific. Now, if you look at population of the Asia-Pacific region, we have 3.5 billion. 58% of the world's population live in Asia and the Pacific. And 1.3 billion live in China, and 1.2 billion live in India, both situated in the region and most heavily populated countries in the world. Now, half of the world's population live in the Asia-Pacific region. And by 2030, the total population in the Asia-Pacific region will increase to 600 million. Now, the Asia-Pacific region is very diverse in terms of people, cultures, faith, belief, social and economic outlooks, natural resources, financial situation, knowledge and skill, ecological system, production and consumption, energy sources, health and mental health status, level of education, level of cohesiveness and conflicts, ethical values, technological advancement, values on protecting the ecosystem as well. So, I must say the last 4 decades, the region has experienced a very positive economic growth. I think the panelists yesterday talked about economic growth and also crisis yesterday. And positive achievements include economic development, population growth, and urbanization, such social transformation, and also technological advancement. Now, the aspects, And the growth in economic and population is due to the region's rich natural environment. Many countries in the region work closely with one another in terms of its natural resources, finance and trade. I think there's a lot of going on, exchanging, taking part in terms of human resource and also trade in the region. And through the close-knit involvement and interdependent common problems begins to emerge directly and indirectly. These problems have impacted the landscape, the climates, societies, culture, economies of the Asia-Pacific region. Now, is poverty a crisis in the Asia-Pacific region? The answer to me that I will look around, yes. Why poverty is a crisis in the Asia-Pacific region? Half of the world's population live in the Asia-Pacific region, and close to half live on less than $1 a day. According to USA, 5 of the 6 countries that account for half of the global annual population growth belong to the Asia-Pacific region, namely Bangladesh, China, India, Indonesia, and Pakistan. The region is unable to address its growth on the population and urbanization. Yesterday, two of the panelists talked about migration within the countries and within the regions, and and within the country itself also, right? Yeah. The growth of the urban population is due to better employment opportunities, of course, and better social services that are available in the cities. Somehow, I think people prefer to live in the city because there are better services for people as compared to urban, rural area. Dhaka, Karachi, Calcutta, and Mumbai are some examples of cities that have sharp population increase due to rural-urban migration. Now, evidently, the region's economic development is heavily supported by the exploitation of human and natural resources. Likewise, the economic development has influenced the employment opportunities and the structure of the region's labor force, more so for the northeast, south, and southeast sub-regions. The economic development across countries and people within countries in the region has also influenced the income inequality, which enhanced the region's poverty level. China, for instance, has shown large discrepancies in economic and social outcomes between the coastal and inland regions. The economic development is closely associated with the rigorous energy consumption that leads to environmental and health problems, waste generation from heavy use material, land degradation, and disease caused by pollutions from chemical and dangerous substances. The high level of consumption also contributes to global warming, acid rains, and toxic discharges. Eventually, people of the deprived group will have to bear the biopsychosocial implications of this consumption through loss of life, risking health status from pollution and toxic material. On the whole, rapid economic development in the South Pacific region has benefited some segments of society, but unable to provide sufficient living for the majority of the people, especially the underprivileged community. Children's health is still shown to be on the poor ends of the scale, especially in the South Asia region. It was reported that 100 out of every 1,000 children die before reaching 5 years of age, mainly due to infectious diseases. More than 500 million people in the regions are undernourished and do not have enough food to meet basic nutritional requirements. having lived in a poor environment, many of these people end up in poor health. Many also lost their income due to disease and spending too much money on healthcare. It was reported that access to education for rurals and the poor in South Asia needs serious attention in order to increase the rate of literacy, particularly between boys and girls. Women in South Asia do not have access to health services and proper food. They have to work longer hours with very minimal pay and more likely to be abused both physically and psychologically. Women in South Asia also have no rights to own land, credits, or employment. Cultural and religious issues prevent them to be on par with men. This gender discrimination propagates poor quality of life for women that leads to crisis. Social unity, conflicts, and corruption additionally propagate further crises in Asia-Pacific region. This crisis steered the community become dysfunctional both economically and socially. Poverty is worse when there is no degree of commitment to restore peace and trust among members of the community, and this tends to increase social disorganization, fragmentation, and exclusion. Corruption in the Asia-Pacific region is also quite rampant in certain parts of the region. In some countries, corruption has already endangered its political stability. Corruption hinders sustainable development and threatening socio-economic advancement. Discussion and conclusion. So, poverty is a crisis in the Asia-Pacific region. The question is how 1.9 billion people in the region live below 1.25